Hey guys, it's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome to another review of movies from the 2010s slash Disney month. And we continue with the Hobbit trilogy, and this is the second movie in the trilogy, the best in my opinion, The Hobbit: The Desolation of Smaug, the awesome freaking dragon voiced by Benedict Cumberbatch. Now, this was definitely a welcome surprise. I thought this was a bigger step up from the first one. It had much more action in it. The pacing was much more tight. I mean, more happens in the movie than the first one. Still you got great performances by Martin Freeman and Ian McKellen and all these other actors. But the one that steals the show is when you first see Benedict Cumberbatch as a dragon voicing the voice of Smaug. His voice is so creepy and so like intriguing. Like it doesn't even sound like Benedict Cumberbatch. It's like Bilbo Baggins. It's like he has this really creepy voice, and the dragon looks freaking fantastic. It's one of the best CGI dragons I've ever seen. It beats the hell out of the dragons from uh, Dungeons and Dragons, those movies, and any of the dragons in like Sucker Punch or anything like that. It's a great looking CG effect. It's not even an effect. It looks like an actual character. He's in his golden cave or whatever, full of gold. It's like Aladdin, and Smaug doesn't want Bilbo to be there. The effects just look great, when Bilbo's like this small and Smaug is this massive dragon. And of course, if you haven't seen the movie, the ending is basically Smaug flies away with his awesome wings and flies towards the town to set it on fire, which is the beginning of the next movie, which is the Battle of the Five Armies. But there's a lot in the film I really enjoy. I mean, the visuals are top notch, just as well. I like the barrel scene where all the dwarves are in the barrels going to, past the waterfall. The love story, I guess it was kind of shoehorned in there, like, with one of the dwarves and Evangeline Lilly's character, and of course Legolas comes back. Orlando Bloom. He came back to do this movie, and I was fine with it. I didn't hate his appearance. I mean, it was good to see him again as Legolas. And Evangeline Lilly is lovely. I loved her in Ant Man. I think she's great here. She reminds me of Princess Zelda from The Legend of Zelda. She has big pointy ears and a really sweet face, and I can see why one of the dwarfs would fall in love with her. Because look, it's Evangeline Lilly, a gorgeous Canadian actress. I never saw Lost, but I thought she was good in Ant Man. Um, the rest of the film is really top notch stuff. Of course, before in the previous movie, Bilbo found the Ring of Power, which is from the original films, where he puts it on and he disappears. He took it from that's why Gollum is so crazy in this cave, because he didn't get the ring and Bilbo ran away with it, and he's like, "Ah!" just that's why he hates the Baggins, and that's why he bites Frodo's finger in the original films at the end of Return of the King. But this movie has a really effective story. I thought it was much better than the first one. Really enjoyed the first one, but I thought this one was definitely a step up. The cliffhanger ending didn't bother me because I knew there was going to be another film. I mean, it was supposed to be two films, but they Peter Jackson extended it to a third film. But what we got here, top notch stuff, really entertaining. It is really long, so I need to warn you guys. If you know Peter Jackson, his movies are very long, and this is no exception. This movie's over 2 hours, and I think it's 3 hours long. I don't know if the extended cut makes it that long, but it's over 2.5 hours. So you will not be sitting through this movie, in that it's not going to be a short time. It's going to feel long. But other than some of the things with the orcs, again, the stupid language that they speak and everything, it's still top notch. I mean, I missed the characters from the first film, and seeing them again, I was like, oh, cool. Now they're going to go to where Smaug's cave is, and the ending of the first movie had Smaug's eye opening, and the beginning of this one, they don't show Smaug until like about an hour and a half into the film, but when they finally do, it's haunting. It's great. It's got atmosphere. The dwarves are still on their journey to get their gold and Thorin to become king again of the dwarfs. All and Basically, Smaug doesn't want any intruders in there, and I can't blame him. It is his desolation because he's far away from human beings, and that's why nobody was able to find him. And then when they wake him up, Bilbo wakes him up, and he's like really pissed, and he's like sneaking around him, and like it's really cool effects. Like I was not disappointed with Smaug. I thought Benedict Cumberbatch, great actor, love him in Doctor Strange. I think his voice really can carry a film. This is living proof of it. And he steals the show. Like, it really is, when he shows up on screen, I don't care about anything else except his voice, because so haunting, so awesome. Really escalated the film from, it was like what Two Towers and Return of the King did for Fellowship of the Ring. It made a good movie even better with the sequel. And definitely more characters. There's more tie-ins to the original. It's what was well paced, definitely. Even though it's a long movie, there's a lot of scenes, where the dwarves get arrested and put in jail, and then there's this king. There's a lot of stuff in it, though. There's a lot of story, though. But I cared about what was going on. That's why I didn't turn my back on the franchise. I thought it was a great sequel. Um, Definitely Peter Jackson's finest work since the Two Towers and Return of the King, outside of the horror genre. And what else can I say about Desolation of Smaug? I definitely want to see the extended cut to see what they added, because I was already entertained a lot by the film, and it's worth your time. If you've seen the first one and you liked it, I think this is definitely a step up, and worth a viewing at least. It is very long though, so be prepared for a long sit through. But anyway, that's my praise on Desolation of Smaug. It's a tightly knit, well made sequel, and I think it's good. I don't care what the critics say. Some people said, "Oh, it's bad because there's too much in it." I'm like, well, it's a fantasy film. This Peter Jackson doesn't have five characters. He goes way out and he puts a bunch of characters in his stories, and he does a good job. I don't know how faithful it is to the book. I never read the book of The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings. But J.R.R. Tolkien's story probably was definitely alive and well here with this adaptation. So Destination Smog is really great, and I really enjoyed it. So thanks for watching, guys. Take care. And the last one I'm going to be reviewing next, which will be The Hobbit and the Battle of the Five Armies, which is the epic finale to the prequel trilogy leading up to Fellowship of the Ring. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you later.